In the United States Capitol, censure, once a rare, solemn punishment, has become a frequent weapon in partisan battles. Instead of addressing the nation's real problems, lawmakers now use censure for quick political wins, turning the House floor into a stage for public shaming and retaliation. This shift raises urgent questions about Congress's ability to govern, as censure becomes more about scoring points than upholding standards. Historically, censure was reserved for the gravest offenses: corruption, disloyalty, or violence. Used only 28 times in nearly 240 years. The process was slow and deliberate, with the House Ethics Committee investigating before any public rebuke. Long gaps between censures, like the decades between the cases of Jerry Studs and Charlie Rangel, underscored its seriousness. Today, censure is triggered by political speech or controversial statements, not just clear ethical violations. The transformation from a careful judicial process to a political tool has stripped censure of its historic weight. The rise of privileged resolutions has fundamentally changed the landscape of congressional discipline. These resolutions allow any member of Congress to force a censure vote within days, effectively bypassing the traditional route through the Ethics Committee and sidestepping due process. This shortcut has turned what was once a serious disciplinary measure into a public spectacle, with lawmakers using censure votes to put their opponents on the spot and fuel partisan outrage. The debates become more about scoring political points than addressing misconduct. Instead of feeling shame, censured members now often use the moment to rally their supporters, fundraise, and claim victimhood, turning the censure into a badge of honor. The meaning of censure has shifted dramatically, from a career-ending disgrace to a symbol of defiance in the eyes of some political bases. The House floor has become a battleground for headlines and media attention, rather than a place for accountability and serious legislative work. As a result, the power of censure as a disciplinary tool is fading, replaced by a new form of political theater that prioritizes spectacle over substance. The tit-for-tat cycle in Congress has become unmistakable. In 2023, Republicans took the rare step of censuring Adam Schiff, citing his prominent role in the Trump-Russia investigations. Many Democrats immediately decried the move, calling it blatant political revenge and a dangerous precedent. The censure was not just about Schiff's actions, but about sending a message to the opposing party. Not long after, the tables turned again. Rashida Tlaib, a Democrat, was censured for her controversial comments regarding Israel and the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Her supporters argued that she was being punished for expressing her views, while critics insisted her words crossed a line. Around the same time, Jamal Bowman faced censure after he pulled a fire alarm during a heated legislative session, an act that quickly became a flashpoint for partisan outrage and accusations of misconduct. In 2025, the pattern continued when Al Green was censured for heckling President Trump during a high-profile address, further fueling the cycle of political payback. Just a few years earlier, Democrats had censured Paul Gosar for sharing a violent animated video targeting political opponents, highlighting that both parties have wielded censure as a weapon. Today, censures are no longer reserved for clear ethical violations. Increasingly, they target speech, political conduct, and even moments of heated debate, reflecting the deepening divisions in Congress. Each action seems to provoke an immediate counteraction, as lawmakers from both sides look for opportunities to retaliate and score political points. The atmosphere is tense, with members of Congress often ready to respond to perceived slights or attacks at a moment's notice, escalating the conflict further. What was once a rare and serious measure has now become part of a political arms race, where censures are used as tools for public shaming, campaign messaging, and energizing partisan bases. The spectacle of censure is amplified by the media, turning disciplinary actions into headline-grabbing events that further polarize the public and lawmakers alike. In this environment, the original purpose of censure, upholding the integrity and standards of Congress, has been overshadowed by a relentless cycle of retribution and political theater. Lawmakers from both parties warn that constant censures distract from real governing and deepen public cynicism. These actions create a toxic environment where meaningful dialogue is overshadowed by political theatrics. Instead of focusing on policy and progress, representatives are caught in a cycle of retribution. Republican Don Bacon cautions that today's majority will be tomorrow's target, emphasizing that the pendulum of power swings both ways. He warns that this tit-for-tat approach will only lead to more division and less cooperation. While Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez calls the process childish, she argues that such behavior diminishes the integrity of the institution and distracts from the urgent issues that need addressing. House leaders urge restraint, but the cycle continues, driven by partisan pressure and media attention. The relentless focus on scandal and censure overshadows the legislative agenda, making it difficult to achieve bipartisan support on critical issues. The result is a Congress focused on shaming, not legislating, eroding trust and making compromise nearly impossible. This environment fosters a lack of respect and cooperation among lawmakers, further entrenching partisan divides. Overuse of censure risks making it meaningless, leaving only expulsion as a credible punishment. This diminishes the gravity of censure and undermines its intended purpose as a tool for accountability. The legislative branch grows more polarized and less effective as public shaming replaces real solutions. The focus shifts from governance to grandstanding, leaving critical issues unresolved. In the end, the American people are left with a Congress more interested in spectacle than service. This erosion of trust in the legislative process ultimately harms the democratic fabric of the nation, leaving citizens disillusioned and disengaged.